Is this recording?
Yes, recording.
Welcome to Velvet Aquarium. I'm your host, Eliot Wilcox. Today we have Anthony Von Raleigh, if you will. Or if you won't. Right. And we're listening to the Flaming Lips' first album. This has the song Jesus Shooting Heroin on it, which is, I think, the reason why I got this album. Or maybe the first song that I heard by them. When I got in a priest-driven ambulance. I don't want to be too distracting. A little ambiance.
That's nice.
Sometimes we burn incense.
Good thing to burn.
We drink fizzy water. We've had.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not showing the label unless they pay me.
Oh, right. It's product placement. Here. My label is love.
That's a good label. I would do that for free.
So, let's see. I met you 2008 maybe at the Berkeley.
It was earlier than that.
Was it?
Yeah. It was not much earlier. It could. That's close enough. We'll say 2008.
They used to have this great open mics when the Berkeley was 3 times as big as it is now.
It wasn't at an open mic though.
Oh, it wasn't?
It was one of your shows.
Oh, really?
I was friends with the drummer at the time.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell me his name. God, that's terrible, actually.
Yeah, I'd known him since I was about 5.
That's right.
And we had previously been roommates.
God, I can see Christian.
Yeah.
Now he was a fantastic guy.
Yeah, really, really good. I still talk to him occasionally.
He's in Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. Consulting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a really, really smart guy. I liked him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. That's why I knew it being roommate.
He played a lot of, yeah. He was just a really killer drummer too.
He was really very much into the technical side, and he really dove into that in the ways you would want your drummer to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. What were we doing? He liked to use a metronome a lot, and it was funny. I'd never seen somebody get that into that part of it.
I was there the night he discovered metronome.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We were in Wilmington on Front Street, opening for a band. I wasn't in his band. I say we. I wasn't in the band. They were called Seven Something, not Seven Dust. I'd heard of them, and I'd heard them playing over the PA system at Best Buy once. I can't remember their name. And Chris got talking to the drummer, discovered they played the Click.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that place.
And upon asking all these questions, thought it was something worth looking into.
Oh. Yeah, so he I don't even know how I met him.
I remember him telling me about you guys, but I don't remember it seems like at the time it probably was on Craigslist if you were looking for a drummer.
Yeah. Bass player at the time, Gary the Furious. And this was Attention was the name of the band, which was not the best name. I thought the music was good, but Gary must have put that up. We had a couple people that we found on Craigslist. What have you done as far as like, I mean, it's much better when you meet somebody because you know them or they're friends of a friend. And you know, when I was in Tennessee, it was you could sprinkle glitter on the floor in a coffee shop, and you'd find you know, all the musicians you needed right there.
Sure. Not like here.
But no, it's not the same here. And I didn't know anybody, so. But yeah, so we met at one of our shows. I didn't remember that it was our shows. I guess we played at the Berkeley sometimes.
Yeah, I got there early just to hang out because I hadn't seen him in a while.
With Christ.
Yeah. And he got there early for the same reason. And then he left for a little bit, and I didn't know when. And that's when you and Gary came.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't tell me about your stage presence. You did the face paint.
The glammy whammy.
Yeah, which I thought was very cool, but at the time I didn't know. And so I saw you and Gary, and I remember you guys walking in. And I thought, well, they must be the guys in the band.
Yeah.
Or at least one of the bands tonight. I enjoyed it very much. I actually still listen to it. I was listening to them last weekend.
Oh, wow. I think, well, thank you. I might do some songs. I guess I'm going to do some songs from that. It was the album Bathtub Gin.
Yeah, that's the one I have. I actually have 2 copies. Because I bought it a long time ago and I thought I lost it. And then you gave me another copy a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So I have 2.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I might have 2.
Well, I can get one back if you need it.
Oh, well, yeah. I may hit you up on that. I think I've got... seriously, I may have like a handful. They're just CDs, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun time. And so you played with, how many bands would you say you've been in as far as like around? Right, you were in Tingen.
Yeah, that was just one song though.
Oh, that's right. You did. You want to tell that story? You want me to tell it? You're the guest. Why don't you tell it from your perspective?
So, one of the things, to sort of answer your other question as well, what bands am I doing? One of them was Left Out. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I met Roger first, and he invited me to go see them. And 6 months later, I was in the band, which was my dream come true. They became my favorite band very quickly. And
why?
I just really, have odd taste, which is why I probably like to change it so much.
No. Well, that goes without saying.
Why I'm on this couch right now.
Right.
But we ended up coming into this sort of renting this giant warehouse, and it overlooked the parking lot where the city of Raleigh keeps all of its garbage trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And one night we were having some kind of party there, as we often did,
What was the name of this place?
The Ruby Red.
Ruby Red.
It was a predecessor, I guess, to what is now known as the Ruby Deluxe,
Mm-hmm.
which is also a fantastic place that was just wonderful.
I lived at Ruby Red for 8 years, maybe.
You did, yeah.
There were always parties. I'd come walking out in my underwear with a toothbrush and be like, "Oh, I guess there's a party here tonight."
Yeah. So we're overlooking the parking lot, and I was hanging out with a few people, and one was my I can't remember if we were married yet. It was my girlfriend or my wife at the time, and one of her friends. And whatever one of them said, I responded to, "Well, would you fancy a garbage et toi?" And we laughed it off and came back inside, and I joked around with a couple people that I just had a garbage et toi with these two women.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey, there's a pizza box.
yeah, and people seem to think we did it in the back, which was odd to me. Because if we had done it, and I won't say if we did or didn't, we would have done it in the cab.
Right.
I mean, come on. But I mentioned this to you, as because I thought I was clever, so I was telling it to a few people, and also I was drinking, and I'm probably telling it to more people than was necessary.
Then you remember.
Probably so, and it struck a chord with you, I guess. You'd already written music and didn't have like a vocal to fit in there. Garbage et toi worked for that.
That was it.
And you asked if you could have that, and I was thrilled that you wanted it. So of course,
Well, thanks.
And then you asked me to do the background vocals on it, which we did with. His name escaped. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But we did that at the Ruby Red as well.
Well, we recorded at the drummer Tom.
Tom.
What's his last name? Can't think of his last name. I'll think of it. It took me a while to do Christian Führer. So.
But he had that mobile sort of recording setup. And we just did my vocals. I think you guys had a more thorough recording for the rest of it. Just my vocals were done that way. It was just one line.
I think we did it all. I think we did it in the main audience chamber of Ruby Red.
We did it upstairs to the left, right as you came in.
Well, that's where we did your vocals. It was in my essentially my room, and I did some vocals up there. But I had a song that I'd written the music for, and I remember playing around with the chorus, and it had happened just that day that I'd made the decision. It's going between these two chords. It doesn't really have a melodic suggested melody. I wasn't hearing anything. And I said, well, it needs something. It's not necessarily la 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 la. It was more of like a shouting something. So it needs to be something interesting. It needs to have like a great, and that would probably be the title of the song. And 3 or 4 hours later, you come at me with Garbage et toi, and I'm like, that's it.
It does have that sort of impact with the buh and garbage, with the rolling and the off with the toi.
Garbage et toi.
Garbage et toi.
And then I came up with the. We were jamming on it, and it got to this section in the middle, and we were going to say, all right, no, break it down, And I was trying to think of what could be lyrics for that. And I thought of the trash compactor scene from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so that became a thing.
Yeah, it was good.
So thank you for that. I wrote all the lyrics around garbage, etoile, and like everything was words from the French that we used in it says this is a masquerade, whatever. This is a coup d'etat for the sweet and squeaky clean,
Right.
a rancid revolution born to free polygamy.
It's fun song.
And all came from some fancy night there. How many parties did you go to at the Ruby?
All of them. I don't think we can count, but there were many.
I remember getting home from a gig, and the people were actually getting very physically involved in the bathroom, and I was like, "Can I just come in there and brush my teeth and go to bed?" And they're like, "Sure." I said, "There's a couch out here," and they were really nice about it.
Well, good. I'm glad it was your home.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they realized that people lived there. It wasn't really street legal. It was whatever the ordinances or
Yeah.
residential. It wasn't within those codes or whatever.
It was a special place and a special time that I don't think you could get away with right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of parties. They usually started about 2:30 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when they ended. When the sun came up, I would go home.
Yeah. Yeah, they went to 10 o'clock in the morning. I remember I would teach. I was teaching at Harry's Guitar Shop, and that was my earliest morning. It was on a Saturday. And sometimes I'd get ready to go to work, and there'd be people sitting out on the porch playing music, obviously still going from the night before. Huh.
And we have some good shows there too.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them were planned, some of them were impromptu.
Yeah. I met Danny Mason there. Do you? Shit horse? His
name is familiar, but I don't know if we ever actually met.
He's legendary. He goes back into the 80s. He was actually in a band with Harry Tooting, Harry's Guitar Shop. Yeah. He definitely makes an impact. He had all red on. Red hat. He even had a red belt. Red shoes, red pants, like this, red. And I was like, oh my God, is that Chuck Berry? And I went running after him and talked to him and realized how great he was.
This was at the Ruby Red.
Mm-hmm.
So he really bought it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, he was the reddest thing there.
It was a good thing to buy it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pay. It's free.
I didn't even make that connection until just now. Right, no, there was a suggested donation.
Right, and most people did that.
Yeah.
And then we had a Pepsi or a Coke machine, one or the other, and you could change what things cost.
Mm-hmm.
So we changed it to a nickel, and we would give away, like, with the donation, you get like 5 nickels.
Right.
And we filled the machine with PBR.
Right.
So it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't soda.
That was genius.
Yeah.
So it bypassed having to have a license to sell liquor. Yeah, that was really fantastic. I remember Tim. This is Tim Lemuel, who was what would you call him? The proprietor. The proprietor.
The man behind it all.
Yeah.
The man with the vision.
He was. But I remember him filling that thing up with PBR. I was like, oh, that's how you do it. I'd never seen one of those things opened up.
Yeah.
So, you did so you've done backups in an Intention album. You played bass, and did you do vocals when you were in
I had not
Left
yet
Outlet?
figured out how to sing when I was in Left Outlet. I had opportunities, but I just couldn't hold the note. So Drew would take care of that.
All right, Drew Smith.
Yeah. And, Roger parted ways with the band. There were some other projects he wanted to focus on. And eventually, when I parted ways with the band, this woman by the name of Buffy, who I worked with in the Colony Theater, was making a sort of collection of short films.
Okay, action.
Why?
Because I'm lonely.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
Did you have your hand on that?
I think I did.
Okay, go. Oh, wait a minute. This is audio track. Okay.
Good. I can go now.
Yeah.
Honey!
Action.
How's your day at school today, dear? Did you do well on your math test?
I think I did good, but I just wish we lived closer to town so I could play with my friends after school.
Don't start that again. This is cold.
Go. Actually, no, yeah. You should start further back. Start by like that tree that splits off in the V. So that you're more in the shadows. Yeah, that's good. Right there. Over to the left. A little more.
Your left.
This way. There you go. Whatever direction that is. Okay, yeah. So, okay, yeah. And then you'll stop by the tree, and then we'll zoom in. Okay. Sounds good. Okay? My camera's just liking the whole place. The longer I make you wait, the heavier that gets, so you'll have less acting to do. Woo! My face still looks bruised. Maybe I just won't tell anyone that I was acting. Okay. Let's do this thing.
Go.
Action. Okay. That's fine. You don't have to stop by the tree if you feel not. Okay. So back up by the tree and then walk towards it again.
Okay. All right, action.
We're going to be called Glitch. And there's a house an hour or so somewhere around, an hour or so away somewhere. I don't remember what direction of town, but it's a replica of the house in the movie Halloween.
Oh, neat.
And she secured permission to film some of it there. And because we worked together and become pretty good friends, she asked me to play one of the parts, so I did. You know, I should also point out that eventually she became my sister-in-law because she's married to my brother now.
Oh, wow.
I got him a job at the college, and I told her to look out for him, and that's not quite what I meant, but they're happy, so that's good. But anyway, I got out there to do the shoot, which I've never acted before or since. And I was helping a friend out.
Right.
And then there's Roger filming it.
Of course.
She hadn't even told me he was the one who was going to be doing it. And Roger, at that point, had joined another band called the Private Passion.
Oh, I remember them.
Yeah. He asked me if I was doing anything, if I'd be interested in looking into that. I love playing with Roger and my outfit, so I said, absolutely, I'd love to come check it out. So later next week, 10 days or so, I went out to their practice and went over some of their songs with them, played them, and I enjoyed it. I liked the guys in the band, and I said, well, you know, let me know when you make a decision, and we'll go from there. And they said, oh no, you have the gig. Roger said you were good, so we're gonna go with you. And I was like, oh,
That's nice.
okay, well thanks, Roger. And
How?
I stayed with them for about a year.
Well, how would you describe the music?
It was very much trying to recreate that sort of dance era of the 80s, but more on the Echo and the Bunnymen type side, as
Right.
opposed to the Madonna or Cyndi Lauper or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of new wave-ish without being new wave. It was fun, but I had some things come up in my personal life where I needed to not be in a band for a while. So I stepped down, and it was good timing anyway, because a month later the singer got an offer for a job in Atlanta, so it would have ended then if I hadn't stepped down.
Right. And who was the singer?
His name was Timothy Exit.
Timothy Exit.
Yeah, and the keyboarder was a guy by the name of Graham Youngblood.
And Timothy also played guitar, right? I remember I asked you what the what your band was focusing on, and you said the music takes place in the future of 1984.
I don't remember saying that.
No, it was brilliant. I love that. I was wondering if you were going to say that.
Well, I'm pleased with myself.
Oh, that was fantastic. And as soon as you said that, I had like this, like a flash in my head of, what's the movie, Escape from New York?
Sure.
And the way they portrayed computers in that, and they looked like really like Pong, or maybe a little more sophisticated like Asteroids.
Yeah.
Like the really old-time video games.
So Roger did a lot of our sort of promotional early artwork stuff.
Of course.
He captured that aesthetic very well.
Yeah.
A lot of like color bars and test signal type references that I think fit what our sound was
Yeah.
and what the motif of the sound when that sound was new.
Right.
Was.
That was, what the future was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny when you look back at like the missing persons or something, and you're like, these people are from the future,
Yeah. It was almost a.
And I was around, so I can
sort of
remember.
Radio star sort of vibe.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it was fun. And then after I was able to devote more time to playing and writing music again, I decided I wanted to do my own thing, so I started this little project, and all I was going to do was get a few of my friends together and record it on tracks and then mix it to the best of my ability on a MacBook. And Roger was part of that, but we got asked to play a house party, and the one holdout who didn't really want to ever play shows because he'd never done it before, we knew if we got him to play that house party, he'd be hooked.
Right.
And he would want to play shows. His name's Joel.
Oh.
And
can you say his last name?
I don't know.
Okay, I know Joel.
Yeah.
I like Joel. Do you still talk to him?
I talked to him just this morning.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
tell him I said hey.
I will. He,
Tell him I miss our time together. He was a really cool guy. I liked him a lot.
very much enjoyed your music and your company as well. But he was hooked, and so once that show happened, we decided, okay, we're going to actually be a band that goes out and plays, not just finishes these songs that I wrote over a weekend when I felt particularly creative. And that lasted 7 years. That was called Army of Dog.
Army of Dog. And so that happened I know you moved to Germany for what, 2 years?
There was a break in the middle where I was in
Okay.
Germany for almost 1 year.
Okay.
It was December-ish of 2013 until late summer 2014. I would probably still be there if the Ausländer Bureau, the Foreign Bureau, had not kept denying my work permit, because every time I got offered a job as an immigrant, I had to get them to approve it.
Right.
But they never approved it. Every job I got, they said I was overqualified for it, because over here, I'd done like middle management, shipping, legal type jobs. I had super fast legal shipping. They expected me to do the same level over there, but I didn't speak German, so I couldn't take jobs like that, and I certainly couldn't take legal jobs because they have a different legal system. And I wasn't, of course, familiar with it at all, let alone, German legalese, which I actually imagine is extremely efficient and easy to understand compared to American legalese. Now that I think about that. But anyway, it didn't work out. Back here.
Right. Well, how did you like Germany besides that? You said you would be there. Did you like it a lot?
Oh, I loved it over there. I loved the culture. I loved the people. I lived in Berlin, so
Oh, wow.
it was beautiful, beautiful city with lots of tragic, horrible history and interesting history. And my girlfriend at the time was a German history professor.
Oh.
With her specialty being tied to Berlin. So just walking down the street was a really interesting, history, private history tour.
Well, that sounds nice.
Yeah. We'd just be walking down the street, and she's, that's where that happened. We had breakfast one day, and I was still smoking back then. I went out for a cigarette, and I saw this little courtyard off to the side, and there are these sort of bronze busts of people with text under it and dates. And I said I don't speak German, I could read German, so I didn't know what they said. So I went back in and I said, hey, before we leave, can we walk back over there and you tell me what this is? It looked interesting and it looked fairly important. So we walk over there, and what I had stumbled upon on my cigarette break was, if you've seen the film with Tom Cruise, Valkyrie, where he plays the I believe it was an Air Force or some high-ranking officer who attempted to assassinate Hitler.
Right.
And he was caught,
Right.
and he was executed. I had stumbled upon the spot where he was executed, which they turned into a memorial.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen that movie or not.
I can't remember his name, but of course Bond something.
I remember the movie,
Yeah.
but I just don't remember if I saw it or not. I've definitely had a big World War II period where I was into that whole the history of all those things. What a fascinating time, you know, and just so many just horrific things that happened. But
I minored in history, mostly focusing on 20th century Europe, just because
okay,
I found it really interesting, and that made it a really good elective to take.
yeah,
So I ended up with a minor in it basically by accident. But that's how Berlin was. You just walk out, you know, for a smoke, and all of a sudden you're standing in an important historical spot. And you know, you unfortunately, if you're like me, you don't even know if the door says push or pull. So you have to get someone to explain it.
yeah. Well, I was going to ask. I mean, you were there for almost a year, so but you must have picked up some
I
German.
picked up some random words. I understand how the grammar works, but everyone wanted to practice their English with me.
Oh, right.
So it was difficult to practice my German because they wanted to speak English because they'd spend a lot of time in the States. All my friends were her friends who were also history professors who had a program tied to UNC in Chapel Hill where they go back and forth all the time. So it was pragmatic for them to want to speak English.
Yeah.
Pragmatism is very much a German trait.
I'm not even sure what that means. What is pragmatism?
Doing things in a way that's like efficient and smart.
Okay.
Like I did that because it was the smart thing to do.
Right. Well, that is what I've heard about Germany. We were watching, was it Inglourious Bastards? And the way that the guy was acting, or he was asking questions at the beginning. Christopher Waltz? Christoph Waltz. Yeah. And the way that he did it was very organized and very pragmatic.
When he is on the phone negotiating with the American general, to a person who isn't pragmatic or isn't familiar with people who are or just isn't wired that way, you know, he was very methodical and detached during that conversation with the general. That's a good example of pragmatism.
Right.
You know, I'm betraying my own country. I'm, you know, working out my pension, all that sort of thing. How could you do that? How could you think of things like that in a moment like this when you were about to end the war that's been such a huge part of everyone in the world's lives?
Yeah.
How could you think of minor details like that? That's pragmatism.
It's cool. So that's a very German trait, huh?
But
That's where my dad gets it from.
I tend to lean that way myself, much to the irritation of some people.
I do that too. I can be very what people, you know, you think that your attention to detail is just a little bit ridiculous. But I never lose my keys.
I don't either, and I have a dog tag attached to them. When I worked at a pet store for a while, I made this, and it just says, "Oops, I lost my fucking keys again," and it has my phone number on it.
Well, mine are either right here, which they are, or they're on a shelf where I keep them, and I don't put them down anywhere else.
Mine are always in this pocket here, or aren't. Not gonna tell people what my keys are.
I'm feeling up one of our guests, but I won't tell you what I found.
It is so nice though.
Did that move?
Well, I mean, it's a autonomous reaction, as you well know. Or is it?
Or is it? Remember this?
I do. I remember I would watch that sketch while I was bare-assed naked.
Oh wow.
Should we tell the people watching this that in that sketch we're referring to, they ended everything punchline? Bare Ass Naked.
Was it Bare Ass Naked?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in such a long time. I like to let things float. Some people will get that reference and some people won't.
I just don't want anyone to think I really do anything bare ass naked. I only do something.
Oh,
Bare ass.
okay. Well, if you want to explain it. I mean, I've never seen you bare ass naked except for that one ruby red thing.
Yeah.
But
In the cab. In the cab.
in the cab on the way
But not the back.
to and from the ruby red.
If anything was done in the back, it was also done in the cab.
Oh, right, in the cab. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that song, I haven't listened to that in a while. I was actually asked to do Garbage à Trois at one of the gigs. And I was like, I don't think I can do that with just one guitar. I don't think it would work.
Maybe if you slowed it down and turned it into some sort of ballad. Maybe not.
I think I'm performing next week, so maybe I won't have time to do that. So do you feel like singing a song?
I think so.
You don't have to.
I mean, we could always cut that out if we're just pleased with the result.
Well, I just happen to have a guitar here.
I see it there.
You like the sticker?
That's a nice sticker. Oh, you mean the one on your guitar? I thought you meant that one there on your pocket.
I have a sticker on my pocket?
No, but I made you think that you did.
You did. You made me grab my butt.
I like it.
Made you grab your butt. Check your butt.
What are we gonna sing? I might have to pull my phone out and look up lyrics of
Yeah.
something I don't
do it.
remember that well.
We can play, almost anything. I mean, I was doing, you can do something from the 80s. I did like 3 80s covers the last performance.
Well, I know Roger wanted to hear some Neil Young.
Oh, Neil Young.
Would you be open to
Sure. I mean, I'm probably, if I don't know it, I can at least do an approximation of it.
I know 3 or 4 Neil Young well enough to sing and only look at my phone a couple of times.
Oh, what song are you thinking about?
I don't want to do Rockin' in the Free World because I feel like everybody does that, right? But there's Fucking Up, which is fun. Pearl Jam did a really good cover on their Live on 2 Night album. I mean, dog, actually,
Fucking
that was
Up.
the last song we ever played together.
If you know the chords, I could.
It's also I'd have to look it up, but no, it wouldn't. But it's in drop D. Well, how about Powderfinger? Powderfinger's on standard tuning.
Well, I'm in drop D now.
Let me just pull the lyrics up in case.
Well, I don't know the song though.
Well,
So
do you know Powderfinger?
no.
Oh, well, you know Rockin' in the Free World, but you don't want to do that one.
Not really.
I also don't want to do that one. Well, Roger, what would you like to hear by Neil Young?
Doesn't matter. What any boxes you know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be anybody. It can be any band or any singer, any whatever. You what you know. He knows. What's your back and forth? He knows lots of songs.
I don't need to tune too well. It is Neil Young.
In fact, what about Dog Army of the Dog? Is there anything there? Do you know a dog?
I mean, I could if you tell me that you know the chords.
Yeah, there's one I can tell you off the top of my head called Dirge. It starts off with C, and then it goes to E minor, and then it goes to E. But the E, you would lift your the middle string, you would lift the finger off of that. No, the middle. Yeah, that one.
So
Whatever
E7?
that is. I can't remember if it was E7 or E suspended. So I just call it that other E. So E minor to that, and then I believe it's G minor.
So we got.
It might
A minor?
even be F. Or actually, you know what? A minor sounds right.
Well, this to me,
It's been a long time. It's A minor.
that's what you're setting yourself up to get to that by going from the minor to the major. Look,
That's the verse.
see how it made its way up to that note.
You should teach.
I should teach stuff like this, and I can use this A minor if you want.
I feel like you should play what feels right to you.
I try not to dress things up too much if they're not necessary, but
So
it depends on how much coffee I've had.
the chorus is much simpler because instead of 4, it has 3 chords.
Okay, so wait, let's start. We got C, E minor, E7, A minor.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what's the,
The chorus would start with an F.
all right?
Then it goes to a C. Then a G. But the 4th time, it goes back to the F after that G. Or it might go back to the C. You'll hear in your head which one.
Yeah, I can pick it up. So, what about the changes? How long am I on each chord?
It's just like a 4.
Just like this? 2, 3, 4, here. And then does it repeat this part?
You'll play that twice under the vocals. If I were to come in later, you play that.
Right, just at your discretion.
Yeah. And the chorus, you'll hear it. There aren't actually lyrics. It's just sort of a noise,
Okay.
like a little blow thing at New Year's. Yeah, like that.
You want to shake a shake?
The tuba.
Want to do this?
No. I think we'll just do the.
Oh, come on, Raj.
I'm not a percussion.
It's normally the rhythm, it goes faster.
You know this song?
It's an Army of Dogs. Song.
Yeah, I can't do it. Can't do it. I did it. Yeah, I'm the drummer. Yeah, but I can't do it now.
Roger's been the drummer in basically every band I've been in but one.
You've lost the ghost?
Yeah, I can't do it.
All right.
But
Well-
we're not gonna play the
Okay.
recorded version. We're gonna play a stripped down version.
Yeah, you're right.
And we can link in the video to the real version on Reverb Nation if anyone wants to hear
Is there a video?
it. There's video of us playing at that radio station on the Wacko and Stern
Yes,
show.
you should do that. Would they do that? Would they do that?
Yeah, we can link to that video. I'm sure,
Okay,
I'm sure
alright.
they'd be okay with that.
Okay.
Is this a pretty song?
What you're playing now is.
But this song, what is it called?
It's called Dirge.
Dirge.
And I believe it's a pretty song.
How do you want me to strum this? Just like, when I think of dirge, I think of like a, that would be a dirge.
That would work.
All right. You want to pick?
Yes.
That's a big pick.
Oh, that is a big thing. Look at that. Look at that.
Big pick. Like that.
But feel it out. Play it. Feel it right. To this. That's essentially the chorus. What you just did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I find the magic mists
This-
floating around the chords?
This is the first song I ever wrote.
Nice.
I was 17.
Huh.
It was 1999, and I had just gotten a chord book. Before that, I'd only learned like how to play off of tabs. Chords were beyond what a self-taught I'd ever gotten. But someone gave me not even a chord book, a photocopy of a page with 15 chords on it, and
Wow. So With no explanation, just here's where your fingers go, and so you don't
Well,
really
they
know.
explained how to read the chord fingers
Right.
on the page for me, and so I kind of started learning those, and then so I looked up a couple songs and how to play those based on what chords were on that page I had. Harry sells this book. It's by a local guy. It's called Music for the Skeptical Guitarist, I think. I can't remember the author's name, but he's a local guy. I never met him, but a friend of mine took lessons from him. And I love that it's in a spiral thing, so you can lay it flat.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
buying a copy myself, but
That's a distinction. So, and what's the guy's name?
I wish I could remember. I can see the book in my head. It's brown. I'll leave a comment on the video with his name. But yeah, so I looked up a few songs off of that, and from that learned a couple more chords. And basically, the first 4 chords I felt good at were the 4 the song starts with.
Nice. Well, it definitely has a good move.
Sort of like the Hey Ya by Outkast. Those were the first chords he learned
Oh,
when he was playing guitar.
Andre 3000?
Yeah. And that's sort of.
Okay, so, well, tell me again. So my counting. So that's the, and then the choruses.
But the third time on the chorus, it's going to go back to the F before it goes to the G. F, C, F, G.
Oh, that's nice.
It
Yeah,
resolves nicely.
it does. You
And
got
then
the 415, the old 415.
Yes, the old, or the 504, if you will.
It goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the manifold, the major lift.
Baffling, isn't it?
It's baffling.
It's very baffling. That's pretty.
Is this right?
Yeah. Black, no white, it's so great, so I turned to her, but she's turned away, and now she's gone, infinite, 'cause when she needed me, I wasn't there. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have cued you, that was where we go to the chorus.
1, 2, 3, chorus.
Make my bed, make it long and narrow. Although she died for me today, I'll die for her. Come tomorrow.
Some more?
That's it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I really like that. I mean, this move right here, it's very dramatic.
It's something I stumbled upon as just a person trying to learn some new chords. I wish I could say it was designed, but I just stumbled upon it.
Or did you try, maybe that. Oh no, this is what you meant. Did you ever see Amadeus?
I have, but it's been a long time. I'm not
right.
familiar enough with it to probably remember the scene as vividly as you're about to describe.
He's being a prick, and he's not even trying to be. He's just that consumed with music that somebody was.
He's being pragmatic.
No,
he's not. He's being a jerk.
Well, I don't think he meant to be.
No, I don't think he did.
He just he was playing a song that another composer had written, and he was like playing, and then at some point he goes, "It's a whimsical little song, but it did come up with some new. I wrote a new song using yours as a platform." And he goes, "It's a whimsical little thing, but it did have some, it was fruitful, whatever." But when he's playing the one piece, the composer's right there, and he stops like in the middle of it and goes, "But wait a minute, that's not quite right, is it?" Then he starts playing right. "Did you try?" Then he does this, then he does this, and then he starts jamming all over it and like throwing in all these
He's like
fills
Ron
and stuff.
Swanson in the hardware store. I know more than you.
Right, I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, the recorded version of this is obviously a little bit better than what you and I just did. Roger did some great drum work on it. John Custer did the recording and the producing and the mixing of it all, and it was very pretty. There's a very sad intro, which I'd forgotten about this till just now, but when I first presented this to the band, first I invited our lead guitar player over and I was like, "I have this idea for an intro. I don't know how I want it to go. I just know I want it to slide into the song, like as the song starts."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "All right," and he just started playing stuff, and I just said, "No, sadder."
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept saying that, "No, sadder." I gave him no other instructions.
Make it more gray.
And then he hit what you'll hear on what we link to.
What? So how can we listen to this?
We'll put a link in the video. I'll comment with
Okay.
it if you guys don't put the link.
Yeah.
Either way,
Okay,
I'll
great.
send it to you. And then he hit it, and I said, "That was it. Write it down, record it, whatever. We can't forget that." And he said, "I'm glad that was it because I can't do better than that." And it gave me goosebumps. And I was like, if the guy playing it got goosebumps like he was playing it, then that's it. And
Nice.
then he sort of repeats not the sound or anything, but the feeling of that on the way out, which is, I always feel very satisfied by it.
Well, so this is the intro, and then it comes back to it, sort of like full circle kind of thing.
It's not even really, it's hard to describe. You don't like to describe your own stuff.
No,
You feel
no.
weird doing that.
Right. That's disappointing because you're trying to tell somebody how they're supposed to feel
Yeah. That's the thing
about something that's making them feel however they're feeling.
That's the thing about art is art is intended to elicit an emotional response, and I don't want to tell you how to feel.
Right here.
About
No.
something.
Sadder. You're supposed to feel sad here.
Yeah. And plus, I didn't even write that. I just sort of said, "No, try something else," until he hit something that we both felt.
Right. You were waiting for the emotion to hit you too.
And
So-
fortunately, it hit us both on the same one.
That's
And-
beautiful.
And we knew to stop there.
Who said all art aspires to be music?
I think, did Roger say that?
Roger probably did.
Yeah, I think he did.
You want to do another one?
If you want.
Well, we can end it with "Rockin' the Free World." You want to just do that? It would be a good way to finish the interview.
If you feel like that's...
I don't dislike the song.
I
or
don't
anything.
dislike it either. I just feel like it's overdone.
Oh.
But if you want to be part of the whole overdoing it thing, I'm in there with you. I mean, just, it's embarrassing that I'm going to pull up the lyrics and refer to them just in case. But I think it would be less embarrassing than actually forgetting.
Thanks so much, Anthony.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's great to see you, too.
Good to see you
It's
again,
been too long. We need
It's been a
to,
while, this whole,
yeah,
dangerous to go out thing.
yeah. Well, I certainly haven't seen you since. And sorry, I hope you don't mind if I touched you.
No, you're all right.
Grab
I
my-
actually just got my booster one.
I'm just grabbing your pockets and your shoulders.
And maybe my keys, maybe.
Maybe your keys were in there. Maybe since that thing that moved was just my imagination, which is another
Running
song.
away with you.
Running away with me.
Stop.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. See you next time.
You have fortune?
It's in my
You have your fortune?
I want to put it right here.
Oh, want to hold the fortune up?
Did you say the fortune in the song there? You said something about the fortune, I thought. You said something like that in the thing, the fortune, I think so.
Velvet Aquarium, we have fortune cookies.
Over the thing.
The rumors you heard are true.
Oh, you can't see it.
Well, I'll read it.
You can pull. I think you'd have to pull it back.